Hey guys, I'm meteorologist Chris Tomer. Let's talk some mountain weather. Well, the storm system delivered, especially to parts of Colorado, Utah, looking at 1 to 2 feet, in fact, over 2 feet in some places in Colorado. Just couldn't be happier. I mean, we have needed this snowfall for so long. Take a look at this is Aspen Highlands. I figured there was going to be a triangle of about 2 feet plus between Aspen, Crested Butte, down to Wolf Creek, and then over to Silverton, and that's exactly what happened. We've got avalanche warnings in place. I mean, look at the snow stacked up there. It's just so good to see. It brings a smile to your face. It is a powder day today. It'll be a powder day tomorrow for most resorts that got nailed by this in Utah and Colorado. And we're also going to look ahead to this weekend for the Pacific Northwest, and we'll look into next week as well, as the next storm will move into the Intermountain West. I talked a lot about this on my blog this morning, the powder weekend, and then what's going to be an atmospheric river weak to moderate for the Pacific Northwest, and that's going to slide down into California. My Tomer's Take is on there. Subscribe to my blog, christomer.com, if you're into this stuff. Talked about Wolf Creek getting nailed. Looked at the vapor transport, the maps, and also talked about what's going to be the coldest morning of the season so far in Colorado. So if you're going to be skiing this powder in Colorado, we're talking below zero at most ski areas Saturday morning and strong winds, so low wind chills for sure. Let's look at the big picture here on satellite over the Pacific, and you can see what's happening. So the main low moving out of Colorado right now will set up a void. We'll have a few days of nothing happening across the Intermountain West. And then that low that you see moving out of the Gulf of Alaska, the very strong jet stream is guiding this thing and going to slam into the Pacific Northwest basically tonight into Saturday with a weak to moderate. It's packing a weak to moderate atmospheric river. So we're going to see 25 to 50 inches of snow on the high volcanoes of in the Pacific Northwest, the high Cascades. So we're talking Timberline to Bachelor to Rainier, over to Stevens Pass, up to Mount Baker, up to Whistler Blackcomb. So it'd be a great weekend to ski those places. And some of that will get blown over into BC and Western Alberta, 6 to 12 in some of those places. But that's where the action is going to be. And then that low in that atmospheric river AR will slide down the West Coast into California. So let's look at the future position of this and watch the Pacific Northwest. There goes the low out of Colorado. This is right here Saturday morning, and notice where the action is. Another place to mention is going to be Schweitzer, western northwest Montana, because as some of the blow off from the atmospheric river comes up over the top and then down into northern Idaho and northwest Montana, you will get snow in Schweitzer. So that's another place to target if you want some new snow for Saturday, Sunday. And then that drops south. Watch the deep blues move into the high Sierra. So right here, this is Monday morning, and it's snowing hard. You've got some snow into the interior. Look at that. This is Tuesday morning right here. Now on Tuesday, the 14th, the low starts to break loose and move into the interior. So especially on the 15th, you've got snow on the move into Utah, snow through the Tetons at that point, and beginning to move into Colorado. So this is the morning of the 15th. Low tries to set up in Colorado. There's a little, you can see it there in northern and northeast Colorado setting up. So then that snow really intensifies. There's going to be a lot of wind. This is late Wednesday, and here's Thursday morning. It's moving out of Colorado. So it's mainly 14, 15 when all that affects the Intermountain West. But that's going to be another good snow, and I'll show you what I'm expecting from that as well. In fact, we'll do this in 2 time pieces between today through the 12th. So basically today through the 12th. You can see the numbers. Some residual snows in Colorado left over with this storm system, and the same goes for a lot of other areas. But look at the Pacific Northwest. Between tonight and Saturday, we're talking big totals, 25 to probably 40, 50 inches up there. And again, 6 to 12 up in interior BC, western Alberta. Look at Schweitzer. This is why I mentioned that. This is going to be probably their best snow so far this season. That's on the way. Look at Whitefish. Look at Sun Valley. Jackson Hole, Grand Targhee gets some blow off, 6 to 7 inches. So that looks really good. Now let's go into phase 2. This is the 13th through the 17th. And look what happens in California's high Sierra. 50 to 80 inches, somewhere in there. It'll be unbelievable if this sets up. I mean, we're talking mid-mountain and higher. You're going to have to go to the higher elevations with this atmospheric river. But this could be a good setup for that area. And I would start to look at this Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Those are probably going to be the prime days for the high Sierra. And then all that moves into the interior, and we're looking at 1 to 2 feet. Bryan Head, Alta, Snowbird, Park City, Snow Basin. So that would be excellent for early next week in Utah. And look at Jackson Hole. We add another foot to that, and Grand Targhee. So we're the beneficiaries in the Tetons of that storm next week. And look at Colorado. We've added another 6 to 10 on top of some of the leftovers from this storm. So this storm next week could benefit a lot of areas. This is great to see. Always appreciate you guys tuning in here, and we'll do another update tomorrow. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the powder.